everybody, we're on Huddersfield Road. Down there in the distance, that beautiful sunset is the hill with all the pubs and the little more flats there just behind the tree. And I drove past this the other day, and I promise you, in all the years I've lived in Oldham, I didn't even know these steps existed. But I really just haven't been able to get them out my head. And sorry about the shaky hand. Yeah, so today has been a work day, obviously. But I thought, you know what, I need to go out tonight. I need to just... I haven't really got a plan for the film, for the video, to be honest. But I knew I wanted to come up these steps and see what was beyond them, so that's what we're going to do. They've got like... they're all wet, but it's not been raining, so there's a water situation, isn't there? Let's count them. 2, 3, 4. 14 in that lot. Jesus. 14 in that lot. Have you seen the rubbish? What is it? Heard that? Oh, have you heard him? Oh, look at this shit. Excuse the language, everybody, but what's all that about? Oh, have you heard him? Oh. Anyway, let's not focus on the negatives. Let's have a look at what we've got up here. Wow. New Break Street. Look at these old pavings. Old stones. These are old houses. I wouldn't mind one of these, you know. Something out the way like this, I mean. With that gorgeous bird. Yeah, so I wouldn't mind to drive up this road though. Look at it. We're struggling to get the Outegra up here, wouldn't I? What was I saying? Yeah, so I've got absolutely no plan. Don't know what's up here. If I see anything interesting, as we usually do on our trips, we always find something, don't we? So I'll be sure to research it, put the detail in. We've got a nice view of Oldham there. See the church in the distance. It's actually a beautiful day today, you know. I think you can see that, can't you? It's really nice and mild. And my mum told me, because I said I'm going to come up here, she said there's some massive gorgeous houses up here, and I am thinking of moving, obviously not necessarily here, but I think, are we in Gladys? No, we're not Gladys. What am I talking about? I'm going to ask that fella what the area is, because I'm not too sure. Right, so I've just been informed we're in Greenacres. I wasn't sure, you know, if it was Greenacres. Not Greenacres, Greenacres, innit? I don't know if it was Greenacres or Clarksfield. But that view, I just can't get over that view. Let me just zoom in again once again. Hang on, look at that. That is a beautiful, beautiful view. I love it. Anyway, if we don't see much up here, I'll fire it off and we'll go elsewhere. But there's got to be something, hasn't there? There's got to be some old pubs or just up by Top Street. There's got to be. Oh, see, what's that there? Look at that beautiful little cat. Just like, nah, I'm not having any of that. So, what's this then? Right, so yeah, situation with me at the moment. I've decided to move house. Now, ideally, I'd like to stay in Oldham, but I don't know if that's going to be possible because for what I want and what I want to spend, I think I might struggle. However, Moorside would be a nice place to move to because they've got like, there's a lot of nice old little cottages up there. And see, the thing is, I've got a fairly big house now. It's too big for me. I bought it years ago when I got married, and it's just too big for me now on my own. So that's what I need to do. Downsize, get something a bit more quirky, I think. So if anyone knows of anything, any little nice cottages or something, I'm not talking Saddleworth prices. Maybe if my YouTube channel blew up, but I can't work out if this has just been a house. Oh, it's the old stores. You know, at first I thought it might have been a church. Bear in mind what I said. I've got no idea what we're going to find up here, but it's called the Old Stores. Oh, it looks beautiful inside. There's a pub up here as well that I noticed. Let's have a look at that. I wonder what that Old Stores was. I'm going to have to find out. Was it an old... Obviously an old shop of some sort, but... So look, we've got Iqbal Solicitors here. I bet this was a house at some point, or an old pub. Look at that old wall. Beautiful, that. If anybody knows what this was beforehand, it's obviously quite a few years old. Oh, I want to go into the cemetery. Should we go in the cemetery? Let me show you this grave in the cemetery. I promise I won't stay in too long. Tell you a tale. Oh, there's the... Oh, you know that Greenacres pub there? I'm telling you now, if you want to go for a drink in Oldham and you want to go to a really nice, decent, old-looking, proper old pub with a decent landlady and landlord, then I guarantee you'll have a fantastic time in there. A few months ago, me and my mate came to walk around the cemetery with the dogs, her dogs, and we said, come on, let's go for a pint afterwards. So we ended up going in there, and it was just brilliant. I mean, it's really old. It's nice old though. It's just it reminded me of walking into a pub. You know, Mum did take me in pubs all the time when I was a kid, but you know, like you used to go to like a family function back in the early 80s, and they used to be these really old-fashioned pubs. That's what it was like inside. This is the gateway to the cemetery, and you've got the little house here which has just recently been boarded up. I think it was open at one point, not open, but they're obviously doing something because they've cleared all this. This was all overgrown. Let me show you that interesting grave. Just hang on. Oh yeah, I was telling you a tale, weren't I? So, where is it now? Right in that far corner over there. I won't go down now because it is quite a way. But right in that far corner you've got the... See the wall that goes right round here? Well anyway, there was a man buried there during the Second World War. And he was a German prisoner of war. Now, people have mentioned the prisoner of war camps in Oldham before, and there was one. There was a couple actually. I think they kept him in various different places, but this guy, he escaped from the one just down the road. If I think on, I'll have a drive down. Anyway, he escaped and they found him. He was only 18, poor lad, and yeah, he ended up getting killed. I think they shot him. He refused to come back, and they basically shot him, and they ended up burying him in Greenacres over there. It was an unmarked grave, And then I think about 20 or 30 years ago they pulled his body up and sent it to a German war graves site somewhere else in the UK. I can't remember where it was, but I just struck me because I just thought, you know, he's just a little kid, and you know, anyway, look at this. I just wanted to show it you because it's, out of all the graves I've been to, it's one of the most unusual. So it's World War I era, and it's the soldier. He was called Lieutenant John Sutcliffe. So he's got like the World War I outfit on, and then if you look at his foot, it's done on a shell. I'll try and read. I've shown this before, I'm sure I have. He was part of the Manchester Regiment, so again he got set off from the from St Mary's, you know, from the drill hall there. That's where they all set off from. May the 12th, 1916 he died. He was 19 years old. He's interred in the military cemetery. He died for his country. I'm so sorry, I can't even see where he's buried. Military cemetery, May 4. I can't see where he's buried, the poor sod. But that's his grave over here. And this other grave over here, I'm not going to spend all my time in the cemetery, I promise. This grave here, this grave is in the memory of Edwin Butterworth. He died April 19th, 1848. He was 36 years old and was interred at the northeast side of the parish church Oldham on the 23rd of the same month, so he's in the parish church. This monument was erected by public subscription in 1859 as a memento of his great moral and historical worth. And I'm assuming his mission here was to really bless the works. No, I don't think that's one of his works, but he wrote, I can't remember off the top of my head, I should remember really, shouldn't I, if I'm going to mention it, but I'll put the details in. But he wrote books, historical books, historical content, and I've read about him before. I'm sorry I can't even remember, but I'll put all the details in below. But yeah, he was a great historian, and he has his stone erected here. I wonder where in Oldham Church he is then. That's a strange one, isn't it? Anyway, what we're going to do... Right, so we've just stopped off now at Raper Street. Now this house here on the very end, I think a lot of you might recognise it. I stopped, I actually wasn't thinking of coming here, but I've just literally just walking back to the car now. We'll go elsewhere. But this is the site of Phil's shop. So Phil's, if you remember him, he had this shop for donkey's years, and I think he lived here with his sister. I don't know if she still lives in the house. But basically Phil, he had this shop since I'd say the mid-70s. He was like an hippie. And he used to look after everybody used to get tick off him, and he was a decent bloke, and unfortunately he passed away a couple of years ago. He went into hospital, he wasn't very well, but his shop now remains empty. But it's a really good example of what Oldham shops used to look like, because it's literally not changed. Excuse me. Look at the old windows. Got a fly on me. Get off. Get off. So yeah. The old off licence. Right, I'm going to I'm gonna make my way back now. You know where I want to go to? I want to go to the back of... In fact, you know what? I'm just going to keep it a secret. So we'll get there when we get there. But I think what I'm going to do now is just nip round a couple of places. Because I don't want to go home yet. And I think there's still filming to do. So I'll see you at the next stop. Right, everybody. This site here is the site of an old church now. It's only just recently gone down, this church. I'm half tempted to get on the floor and have a look underneath that door there, but I'm probably not going to find anything. But basically this church, it's been here for a long time. If you look at those stones up there, I think the front of it has obviously been rebuilt because it's modern brick. But look at that. Now, back in 1819 there was a battle of Peterloo. A lot of Oldham's men, a lot from up Saddleworth, they all sort of mobilised and went down to Manchester, and they kicked off because poor prices, I think it was poor prices on cotton and stuff. Basically they were just being taken the mick out of, and that's the story in a short tale. But anyway, this battle went on and there were loads of people massacred, and in at the side of this church here, I've seen them with my own eyes, there were gravestones up against the wall for men who had died in that battle. And they stood here for, well, the battle was 1819, so we're talking at least 200 years. Now, about a year ago, this church burnt down. I don't know why, maybe it was a natural fire. I don't think it was anyone's fault, it's just one of those things. Where are the gravestones? Because I don't think they're going to be inside there anymore. Now, if anybody can help me and give me an understanding as to how I find out, because I want to know where them gravestones are, because they need to be preserved. Now, I know there's one gravestone, and I've had this on very good authority. I've not seen it because it's been locked down. I've not been in for donkeys, but I know that there's a gravestone on display in Oldham Art Gallery. And when I asked this prominent local historian if he knew where they were, or even if he knew about them, he didn't. So that worries me, because if he doesn't know about them, then have they just been cast aside? I'm not suggesting the people that own the building have cast them aside, I'm not saying that. I'm sure they've been moved, because, you know, it's a church at the end of the day. So but I want to know where they are. So if anyone can help me with that, please do tell me. Right now, change the subject, you see. But all down here, this was thriving. It was retail, it was residential, and then of course you've got the big bank. Now I just filmed that from the other side when the sun was setting. I don't know what they're going to do with this bank, but it is a listed building, so they're going to have to hopefully do something. But even at the side of that bank around the back, there was literally buildings all the way down. You can see on the side where they've removed the other building. That's Huddersfield Road up there. But yeah, if anybody can tell me or help me with that little query I've got over those gravestones, and I think it's really important that we know what's happened with them, because men died a gruesome death, and it's a part of Oldham's history, and it needs to be saved. But I just wouldn't know where to go first. But I know there's a lot of clever people that watch this channel, so you'll be able to help me. It's beautiful, that building, isn't it? Right, there's somewhere else I want to go. It's not far from here. I'm going to jump back in the car. This is the park and ride for the Metrolink. You know, I was looking back. They took, I think, was it the 40s? They took the trams out of Oldham. Or was it earlier than that? I think it might have been the 40s. But yeah, they took them out, didn't they, to make a better, to go modern and get the buses, and now it's gone the other way, hasn't it? So, and that's Oldham bus station there. Come on, let's get to the next stop. It's getting dark now. I feel like I want my tea. Not making tonight. Went to Asda before, bought some chicken, and I've got some what's it called? Got some chorizo in the fridge. And I've got some tomato, some feta cheese, lettuce, onion, red pepper. I'm going to chop a load up, throw it all in a big thing, and put some olive oil and some I just got sidetracked by the back of that building. Look, I'll just zoom in. It's really old, that, isn't it? Yeah, so if you want a recipe for a decent salad, right, 1 chicken breast grilled, chop it, a bit of chorizo just for flavour. You don't need to go wild if you're on a diet, or you can go wild if you want. Grill that as well, take the skin off the outside. You don't need to eat that. And then you could put in, so chop in celery, lettuce, tomato, a little bit of tomato, but get them the tiny little ones that have got loads of flavour, and onion, feta cheese to taste, whatever you want, and what else? I'm missing some red pepper. Basically whatever salad you want, whack it all in, and then put some olive oil in, some vinegar and some salt, mix it up and eat, and I'll guarantee you've not tasted anything nicer in your life salad wise. Right, let's get to the next stop. Right, here's an oddity for you. The camera will decide to focus. Here we go, sort of. Right, okay, look at this. Not this, this. What is that all about? It's probably one of the oldest houses in Oldham, that. It's just up by the Royal Hotel, which we'll look at in a minute, which is no longer the Royal Hotel. Look at this place. It's boarded up. I can't work that out. I can't work out why it's empty. I've wondered for years. It's got the old step going in. I bet that house is rammed with original features. But the reason why I came down here was to show you this. This is the Temperance Hall. Now there's nothing to look at, this one. This one was built in the late 50s, early 60s. But it's going to get demolished. Now the sad thing about that is, this is actually a rebuild of the original Temperance Hall, which was built in 1852. And all of this stone here is old stonework, obviously you can see that if you look at the side. What they've tried to do, they've tried to keep some of the old building, which they've done quite successfully. But what worries me is that when they knock the rest of it down, now this was supposed to happen, last year, but obviously COVID-19 stopped it from happening. I'm going to say as well, Nadia was here in 2017. No, I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say, all the back of it here, look at it, this is all original from the 1800s. And look at that door. But it's gonna go. It's gonna go, it's gonna get knocked down. Look at it. It's such a shame. I'm gonna get myself home. I'm gonna leave you with one story before I go. Cardinal Street. Now on Cardinal Street, there used to be a Catholic school. Now, my granddad used to go to that school with Bernard Cribbins. He was in school with Bernard Cribbins. He was a friend of his when he was at school. And the pair of them used to go to this school down here, which is gone now. I can't remember what it was called. I'll ask my mum to see if she knows. But basically, it used to be all the kids. It was a Catholic school. They used to be taught by nuns. And there was this one nun. So you see where that building is now, the flats? Here. That's where the school was. And basically this nun, for years and years and years after she died, they used to hear her walking the walking the halls, and apparently she was a bit of a tyrant when she was when she was alive, and the kids used to be scared to death, and you could always hear her coming by the rustling of her skirts, because they used to wear them long dark black skirts and whatever, proper nuns. And she used to carry a whip, and she was really strict, and yeah, apparently long after she died you could hear her, the sounds of her skirts as she was walking down the hall, and it used to terrify people. And apparently she used to live, I don't know if you saw my video that I did on Butterworth the other day. We looked at the nunnery, didn't we, down in Coppice or Werneth. That's where she lived. So that's all. Right, hopefully this is a good video. I'll put some facts and figures in, as I always do, and yeah, let me know in the comments if you know any answers to any of the questions that I've come up with tonight, and thank you so much for watching.